Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a showcase of my PSA graded Pete Rose collection. It is not a complete run, but I'm still fairly proud of it. At the end of this I'll do a recap, but individually I'll show the cards here first. Starting off in the tail end of his career, 87 Fleer. He's back with the Reds as a first baseman and a manager. Got to have a Pete Rose autograph in the collection. Not a hard autograph to get. He signs a lot of stuff. The fun stuff is that with a lot of this 80s stuff, it's still fairly inexpensive. You can pick up cheap stuff like this. Kind of oddball stuff here from the Milton Bradley game. Here's an interesting piece from 81 Fleer. This is the no number on the back variation. You've got a couple of great players. Schmidt, Larry Boa, Pete, all on the Phillies. No number on the back of that. A portrait shot from his 81 Don Russ. Cool 1980s Kellogg's card. One of his first cards showing him in that Philadelphia uniform. He'd been a mainstay with the Reds for so many years and finally went to Philadelphia and was a still really strong player for them. Here's his 1980 card. Now we're back to all his Reds years. So the majority of the collection of is Pete in his Reds uniform, a 79. Here's his 79 Topps record breaker. He commemorating his 44-game hit streak in 1978. This card is hard to find centered, but a really sharp 79 Pete Rose. Then he also had a record breaker in 77, most hits for a switch hitter in a lifetime. So Pete Rose had over 4,200 hits in his lifetime. Beat Ty Cobb's record back in 1985. Not a Hall of Famer, though, because of his scandal of gambling. Nice 78, the year that he had that 44-game hit streak. I like that 78. Question for you. Do you think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame? Or do you think that he'll get in the Hall of Fame? I tend to think right now he's not even eligible to be on the ballot. So I don't know if they'll have to change the rules. But once he does pass away, I can't imagine that he doesn't get a chance to get in after his death, which is kind of unfortunate because his playing career certainly dictates that he's worthy. Here's a cloth sticker, the 77 cloth sticker set. You'll notice a little difference between that and the variation of his regular 77. It's got the NL All-Star tag on it. Just cool. You mean crouching. He was an all-star, I believe, at 5 different positions. So some of these cards you see him at third base, first base, outfield. Started off as a second baseman. Really sharp 76 Kellogg's. Here's a cool piece that's got him down here in the corner with the 76 card commemorating the 75 World Series win. And then I've always been a fan of his 76. It's really close-up portrait shot with that all-star symbol. Then the SSPC, the independent card company that only lasted a year before being sued out of business. And then the colorful 75. Some of you have mentioned you like the 75 large better than the mini. I only have the regular size 75. Don't have the mini on that. And then on to 74. Nice colorful Kellogg's 3D imagery. I like this picture. Kind of him doing a drag bunt down the line in 74. 73 Kellogg's. Here's his 73 Topps. A little bit off center left to right, but a clean copy. Looks like he just hit a pop-up foul. On to 72. We've got 2 cards here. This in-action card for the in-action set on the back. It's a puzzle piece. That's Carl Yastrzemski on the back. And then his regular card, more of a batting portrait shot. Big fan of those 72 in action cards. Really like those. And then in 71, the Dale Team stamp, fairly inexpensive item if you're looking to pick up something from his vintage years. And then his 71 Topps, just in an excellent 6. Centering left to right on that is a little bit off, but still a very clean copy overall. I like the Sporting News All-Stars from the 1970 set with the newspaper and the player's image bursting through. Cool shot of him. I just picked this up on the cheap in a 6 because I got tired of being outbid on the 7s. And then this is a card. I have this card from my childhood. This isn't the card, but I got this graded. I got one of these in a 7 because I really wanted it. Really cool portrait shot of Pete Rose from 1970. A very no frills Globe Imports from the 1969. Pete has not yet reached the stardom level. And then the decals, excuse me, from Topps 69. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but they found a large roll of these after the fact. So there's a lot of clean, good Mint 9, Gem Mint 10 copies of these out here, but not for Pete Rose because I don't think Pete Rose was in that roll. If anyone knows different, let me know. There's a way to distinguish that. Several players were in that roll, and they have like a lot of copies and high grade out there. Some of them, no. 69 All-Star card. And a 69 as well. Man, I bought a lot of these vintage ones back in 2011 when I first started collecting again. Was it HBO or somebody did a documentary on him, a Hit King documentary, and I saw that, and I was like, man, I need to pick up some Pete Rose stuff. This is a more recent edition, the Atlantic Oil Play Ball from 68. This has got the game rules on the back. These, I mean, they're fairly rare. You don't see them all the time. There's about 31 of these with the rules on the back that have been graded by PSA, so not the rarest piece, but these are rare in general. And then a, excuse me, 68 Topps game piece in an Airman 7. Here's a 68. I like the 67. It's very colorful. All these cards in his early days, he's got the cutoff sleeves. I like that with the long red baseball undershirt there. Those are pretty cool. I have one oversized card I want to show. These are kind of more popular now because Topps Heritage has come back out with the large supers as box toppers. But in 70 and 71, they did the large card. If you can see, to appreciate it, you have to see a real one in hand. Very thick card stock. I don't know why this is an excellent 6. It's got really, I mean, really outstanding eye appeal on this. I mean, I couldn't tell it from a 9. Look at the front of the back's a little off center, maybe cockeyed a little bit, but that was fairly common. But a really clean 1970. Great image of him. Great vintage piece. Then I've got a really nice 66 here. Shows him batting from the right side as he was a switch hitter. And then another recent pickup here just a few months ago on my deployment. I picked up this beautiful 1965 and a 6. This is my oldest Pete Rose card. Don't have the 64 and don't have his rookie, the 63. You know, I might look to pick them up if prices drop a little bit, but as it stands right now, I'm pretty content with what I have. But let me go and pause this, and then we'll do a recap. Thanks. And here's a tabletop recap real quick. Really nice collection laid out here, tabletop style. Once again, I've really enjoyed picking up these vintage roses. That was the ideal to get most of his Reds playing days, and then I've slowly picked up a few of his more modern 80s era stuff on the cheap. And those are still available out there for those that are interested in picking up some Pete Rose stuff. Ultimately, I hope he does make the Hall of Fame. He definitely is worthy from his playing alone, character issues aside. But that's all I've got for you. Once again, everyone, I appreciate your posts, your comments, and I'll talk to you again soon.